Morning, everybody. Welcome way early, bright and early. Hope everybody has their cup of coffee and their drink of choice, I should say. Maybe you're a Red Bull fan or whatever. Um, we will call out the chat real quick and we will introduce everybody. Littlefoot and Blue Collar were here yesterday, I believe that's yesterday morning. B. Taylor was here as well yesterday afternoon. 3D Woodworks was excited to be in. Squatty Aquati was ready to go. Kevin Hawthorne, good morning, good morning. Being Becky, welcome. T Bird is playing with his trains or on his way to go play with trains. He's in there dropping links as usual. Chris in Virginia says it is good morning. He is mobile, but he can take a look at chat when he stops about 45 minutes on the road. Humble Stacker, he is here to check out the panning that we were talking about when he was on here. LBS, good to see you in here dropping links, fist bumps and hellos. And who else did I just see? I just skipped over Cartier Silver. Good morning. Welcome. Capital Currency. Good to see you. Now that hockey season's over, you got time to watch some YouTube now. And of course, we have blue collar stacker. Why do I always do that? We have blue collar stacker on the bottom, and we got 3D Woodworks with us this morning.
Morning, y'all. Morning. How's everybody doing today?
Blue collar is on a ship again.
Yeah, I had the worst night's sleep too. It was just terrible, man. Terrible.
Must be nice out there cruising the ocean.
Yeah,
3D, I think you said you're on your third cup of coffee.
No, man, that's my first one. I got this cup of coffee for compliments of the Capital Currency.
There you go.
Nice.
Nice little shout out for Capital Currency.
Actually, I got the cup from Capital Currency. The coffee came from my Keurig.
I thought maybe he dropped off the coffee to you this morning.
That would be really cool. I've had two people from YouTube stop by my shop, and Capital Currency hasn't been one of them.
So I know
been one of them, though, right?
was one of them.
Yeah, Humble came by. He got to see got to see where I do stuff, make rings, do 3D prints and pours and stuff. That was pretty cool. We took a little road trip down to the Cape Disappointment and got some gold. Yeah, good old Humble Stacker.
So they call it Cape Disappointment, but it sounds like you guys don't ever get too disappointed there.
I don't know, man. We went down there to find some gold, right? And I found a very small quantity of gold and black sands. You can't even hardly see it on here because it's so fine, that gold. But it's a fun time. There's a cool lighthouse that you get to go to and hang out. It's a great experience, a great campground down there on the southernmost point it's the southwestmost point of Washington. And when I went the day before with my son, we actually seen a bear in the park. It was pretty cool.
Oh wow! I don't know if that. I don't know how cool that would be.
Walking down the road, it wasn't.
Did you share a video of that?
Yeah, a little short. Yep.
Yeah, I thought I remember seeing that.
Yeah. So you're into the coin rings, right? And
yeah,
I gotta be honest. I'm gonna hide my Morgan now.
Hey, I could make you a coin ring out of that Morgan.
Oh, I know, but I couldn't kill my poor baby. This is my pocket piece. I wouldn't kill her. But
no,
maybe a peace dollar or an ASE.
Yeah, I've done them out of ASEs, and ASEs turn out great.
Yeah, I saw you did a video. Now, is it better with the type 1 or type 2?
It doesn't matter because you don't see the backside whenever you use the coin to let's see here.
So you just see in the front side, the backside is against your finger, I'm assuming, right?
Yeah. Yep.
Now I
Yeah.
wonder if you could be different though and use the backside out. Like if you did like a Type 1 with the eagle facing out, I wonder how that would
Hmm.
look.
I don't know. I've never done one like that before. I could give it a try. Let's see here. I got I think all the eagles that I have are just the ones with the eagle with the shield, you know,
Yeah.
that I have, right? Like, you
Yeah,
wouldn't get too much of the eagle. You would get the tips of the wings, the stars, and a little bit of the tail, you know, because it'll punch out the shield pretty much, the shield in the head
oh
if
yeah,
you
because you
made it.
punch through the middle.
Yeah, that's why we usually do the front, because it keeps all that type of stuff on it. And
So
whenever you're, go ahead.
what got you into making the rings like that? That's really creative and really freaking awesome.
I went down to my local coin shop and they had a really bad version of a coin ring in their jewelry department, and it had been cut and soldered and fit me. And I was like, that is really cool. And so I went and I started trying to look up how to get one, but all I could find was YouTube videos on how to make them. And so I went home immediately and I punched a hole into this standard, you know, this is a clad $50, and it was a Kennedy, and I bought myself from the local jewelry supply store an anvil, and I bought a hammer, and I just started pounding on that thing, and it turned out pretty rough.
So that's
So
the original prototype right there.
that was the very first one that I made right here. Yeah.
There
Yep.
you go. I was gonna say
And
fluff them
I
up
was
so
like, well, that ain't gonna work very good. And then I just started buying all kinds of equipment and stuff. Like I've got a whole bunch of dies, like different types of dies and punches and stuff that I use to make the rings, and then a couple of different like presses and this hydraulic press. When you do bigger rings, you got to have hydraulic press. It's tough to fold those guys.
I would think so. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I've seen the videos where you do them. It's pretty amazing. Although, like I said, I'm gonna hide my Morgan.
I always
I'm
thought about you when I watched his videos. I'm like, Blue Collar would cringe.
I at first, I gotta be honest, I was a little like freaked out about it because I was like, oh man, that's a Morgan, dude. That's like sacred ground right there.
Well, I started out whenever I did my first ones, I used like this is my pocket piece that I carry around, and I just use ones that are like this, you know, all like slick and beat up and stuff. And I was getting more results for the rings, and you know that were like this, really low quality, not a lot of detail. And I've been wearing this for about 6 or 7 months maybe, and I work construction, so it gets worn down. And I was like, all right, that's going to be that was kind of a learning lesson. And as I got better, I just started making more and more you know, making better rings and making you know, making rings out of better coins. So now I've got this book or this folder, this binder that I have. This thing weighs over 7 pounds, you know, and it's just a catalog of all different years of Morgans and all different kinds of coins.
I like
And
it.
that like got a pretty good glare. But yeah, I got Morgans and ASCs and I got some Libertads and some Canadian coins, peace dollars, a lot of this different state quarters, and I just keep them all organized in here of what I have in silver to be able to offer folks if they don't want to provide their own coins. Then in the back I got some of my stuff that I've won from different people, gifts and stuff, and then a bunch of walking liberties, and so that's kind of my this is my first binder. It's gotten so heavy that I've had to start a second binder, but this is my most full one. And this thing was I was starting to lose some pages out of it, so I had to go with another book. 7 pounds of coins is 7 pounds of coins is a little bit to be getting in and out of the safe all the time.
So those are ones that are destined to become rings.
Yeah, that's what I bought all these for. So recently I just went and I just cashed in, it's probably something we'll be talking about later, but I just cashed in almost all of my stack. In the end I got about $8,500, and I had to put it in the bank because I'm trying to buy some property. Because they want your money to be seasoned, and I can't keep money in a bank account very well.
Yeah, join the club.
So all my savings was in silver and gold, and so when I cashed my silver and gold in, I got to let it sit for 2 months, and then I can go back and try to.
Yeah, I remember that. I remember that when I got my house.
Do they ask you where that money comes from? Like, do they say, "Hey, where did you get this money?"
Yeah,
I mean, the bank, like if you're trying to do a loan or something.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they want to know everything about it, and I don't want to tell them where I got my money.
Well, no, I hear you.
I had receipts for all this. I had receipts for all this stuff, and
right.
They didn't give 2 flips about that. And to be able to prove that I'd had it for more than 2.5 or 2 months or whatever, they didn't care about that.
Your lender. The mortgage company didn't care that you had receipts for it.
No, they didn't care. They said we don't care. It's got to be in a bank, and it has to be seasoned for 2 months, and then come back and talk to us when it's been in there for 2 months.
It's funny because I remember when I got my house, I I had a good night at the casino, so I put that money in the bank, and they're the same thing. They're like, "Well, where'd this money come from? Where'd this deposit come from? What, blah blah blah." And I'm like, they're like, "Well, don't tell us that it came from a casino. Don't tell us you won it. Tell us." I'm like, "Oh, okay."
I found it in a taxi. What do you want to hear?
Yeah, I don't know. A gift from a friend. I don't know. I farted it out. I ate it. I don't know.
I mean, come on.
So yeah, I remember
as good a place as any.
I just
like
sold
to
my motorcycle.
There you go.
Yeah, there you go.
Mm-hmm.
Land is not a bad thing to invest in. That's for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I want to be able to. I rent right now. I rent the shop that I'm in, and so if I had my own place, then I wouldn't have to worry about like the person that owns the shop is having yard sales, and
Oh shit.
I don't get much space right now, and it makes it really difficult for me to want to be doing stuff like this.
Yeah.
Whenever I'm having a yard sale and people might come in and see what I've got going on, that puts my stacking at risk. So
Yeah, that
I
would be
got
odd.
you gotta put all this stuff away and put it all back out every time I want to do something, and it kind of kills the vibe.
Looks like we got a couple more people in here. B Taylor popped in. Emerald Coast showed up. Who else? Who else? That's all the new people we got? T-Bird's still in here. Capital
T-Bird,
Currency.
B Taylor,
B Taylor, yep.
Capital
I
Currency,
believe
right on.
Cartier Silver said he wouldn't mind having a ring. Hint, hint.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it sounds like 3D Woodworks could use a little capital, so
Heck
maybe
yeah.
reach out. You guys can work a deal in there somewhere. Could
I'll
use
have
some.
to.
Christian Virginia's here, but he's driving. 3D Woodworks could use some capital for some property, so maybe
Yep.
send them an email, work something out.
Yeah, I would
Yeah.
definitely do an ASE. I got a couple of cool Silver Eagles that I bought, like real nice toners. And my question is, would you retain the toning or do you lose that?
No, you totally lose the toning because, how you get rid of toning is you heat it up, right? And that's part of the process. One way to get rid of toning is to burn the toning off with heat. And so whenever you make a ring, you heat it up and anneal it to keep it soft so that it's malleable, and so it moves, the metal moves easily. And if you don't heat it up and keep it malleable, then what happens is your coin can end up cracking. So this is
Oh,
one that was cracked because I didn't heat it up enough,
I got you.
and so that's no good anymore. It was a learning
Yeah,
process to learn how to make them.
yeah, I
And
mean,
Blue
you
collar,
gotta.
why don't
It
you just
has to stretch it, right? That's the only way you're
yeah,
gonna get it into that shape. It's got to stretch the metal. So
yep, exactly.
Blue collar,
And
why don't you just go ahead and get a Morgan done, man? Just sacrifice a Morgan. It'd be cool to have a Morgan around your finger. You don't have to sacrifice
no,
your pocket
Morgan's
piece.
there. Yeah, so with a Morgan, you can pick up. Well, when I was buying Morgans all the time, I was getting them for like $20 to $24 for most of the ones that I got. And what I do for folks on YouTube, is if they do a video, like an unboxing video, and I'll do this for anybody who's got a channel does an unboxing. They send me 3 coins, and then I will keep 2 of them and use one of them to make into a coin ring, and the other 2 in the book
yeah,
as
that's
stock.
pretty cool.
And otherwise, it would be like $300 for a Morgan or a ASC, any silver round.
Yeah, I would
And
imagine there's a lot of work in it, like a lot of time goes into it, artistry. It's pretty cool,
yeah,
process. Like I said, honestly, when I first saw it, it kind of freaked me out a little bit because I was like, wait, that's like a sacred coin, a Morgan. I was like dying over there. But then, the more you look at it, there are a lot of Morgans that are just, I mean, this is just a basic, Morgan. That's why I carry it
yeah,
around in my pocket. But, this one I would never use because it's my baby. But
yep.
I got a
Well,
bunch of them that I could use, I'm sure.
But I
the
mean, you
thing
gotta.
is,
It's
I
better
go
than it
through
getting
them.
melted down, right?
Yeah, and
Yeah.
I go through them, and I pick out, or I'll put them under the microscope and check them for like die cracks and stuff. And I did that for my silver journey, and the first ones that he sent me out had die cracks and stuff, and I sent that one back to him and said, dude, um this is a nice coin. I'm not gonna make a ring out of this.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
you
Because
definitely have to check them over. That's for sure.
yeah,
yeah,
oh
a
yeah,
lot of them have die cracks that aren't really worth anything, but um,
exactly.
they got to be in the in the VAM book. And
Yep.
fairly
And
rare because there's a lot of them. Like if you get die cracks around the outside of the coin, that's very common.
mhm. Yeah, I got a bunch of the ones that I use are usually these the 1921
Yeah,
coins. Those get
yeah.
used a lot because they're really plentiful. Um, and there's not a lot of VAMs in that era. But the ones that do have VAMs, then I will I'll let people know that they sent me something that was more valuable than what should be made into a coin. Or if they want a specific year though, or if they want a specific coin, a specific date, then you kind of gotta use what they send you, you know. And
Well, if somebody is sending you 3 coins, right? So they send you three
mhm,
coins, you make a ring. Do you
yeah.
choose which one you want the ring to be made out of, or do they?
Well, so yeah, if they want a certain date, then yeah, they choose. But if they don't specify, then I'll choose which one. And I usually choose the one that's the best to make the ring out of, so they get the best product possible.
Yeah, that makes sense
Fair.
because you have the eye for it. The average Joe, so to speak, doesn't have the
Mhm.
eye for it.
Yeah. See if I can get some of the glare off of this thing. That way I got that light positioned is
Yeah.
pretty harsh.
So just a quick question. How long have you been stacking or into silver and gold? I know you're into prospecting, obviously, and how long have you been doing this?
I've been into it since I think about, I'm gonna say, like, not even, probably around a year now. Yeah,
Oh, okay.
about a year.
That's
And
interesting. I would have put you as one of the old timers. I would have put you as not old timer. Don't get me wrong,
Yeah.
as an OG. You know what I mean? I would have put
mhm.
you on and being an OG.
I I when I've learned about this, about coin collecting and stacking and stuff, I was I had just gotten a really nice raise at work, and so I put 100% of the money that I got from my raise just into stacking and into buying rounds and bars and stuff like that. So I was going hog wild. I had about probably $250 a week available funding, and I put 100% of that into metals. And then I had a couple fortunate breaks where I went on to Whatnot, and I I was buying some of those Harry Potter. I bought a Harry Potter box whenever they had those boxes with the you had the possibility of getting a golden snitch, or which was a quarter ounce of gold, and it was in a coin, and then you get it's 2 coins in a box. And when I bought that, um, I did it on EDC Unplugged, or
Yep.
whatever his name is,
Yep.
and
Oh yeah, I know that. Yeah, I've seen that one.
EDC plug, it's called. Yeah.
EDC plug, yeah. And I got I was like, I just had this gut feeling that I had to do that, and it was a stretch for me. And I paid like $500, and I won. And he said, "Which one do you want?" And my first instinct was to take number 5, and I was like, "Shit, woodworks." And so I picked number 3, and it had the golden snitch, dude. And I ended up selling that, and that's how I bought all my tooling to make coin rings,
Wow.
was with the profits that I made from that. And then I bought some gold, and I think I bought a half ounce of gold to make into a ring. And then I bought a couple of I bought probably like 100 ounces of silver too. And
Damn, that must
Nice.
have been an expensive coin.
um by the time I was done, I ended up 8 grand off of it.
Holy shit.
Oh,
Wow. And
well,
what
yeah.
was
You
Yeah.
it?
said you've only
Was
been
it like an
stacking like
ounce
a
of
year,
gold or
and you just
something
sold
that
off
was
your.
what was it? Like, explain what it was
It
that it
was,
was worth that
I
much.
never seen it. I never even had it in my hands. People in the chat were bidding on it, and I was like, I knew if I got it, I wasn't going to sell it. I would open it up and touch it and stuff. And so I was like, I got this is a gift from God to help me to do what I need to do. And so I sold that thing pretty much sight unseen to someone else who was in their channel. And I don't know, they probably resold it again. Who knows? But
Wow, that's
if I would have held
incredible.
out, I probably,
So you won it, and then somebody from the
uh-huh.
chat in that exact stream bought it from you.
Somebody from the chat in that stream, yeah. Not
That's amazing.
Wow.
That's crazy, dude. I never heard a story like that before. That's crazy.
I mean,
Yeah,
if
that's
people want it, you know, they're in there chasing at it too, you know, and then they
yeah.
see somebody else get it. So yeah.
Yeah, but it
Mhm.
must be worth a lot more if they're willing to pay $8,000 for it, unless they just really wanted it.
What size
Um
was it? I'm trying to find. I can't even find it.
it's it was a Harry Potter box. And it's a box set, so you get one silver coin guaranteed, and you can get another silver coin, which is a 1 ounce coin. And then you get you a playing card resembling the person or the coin that you get, you know. And then you get like a little detail. It comes in a really nice box, and um, it was the 2024. Uh, it was just a golden snitch. That's what I ended up pulling,
Yeah,
and
there's one on eBay for 6,500.
yeah, they were selling at
You
that
did really
time on
well then.
eBay. Yeah, they were selling at that time on eBay anywheres from 10 to 13,000.
Yeah,
And
I'm betting that's Harry Potter fans more so than the value of the
yeah,
actual prize.
oh, 100%, 100%. Because
Yeah,
there ain't no quarter ounce of gold and a 1 ounce of silver that's worth that much money. It's the actual fact um that it was nostalgic or whatever to somebody.
right, right. And
You got
you
some
probably
diehard Harry Potter fans.
Oh yeah.
yeah, and a lot of them probably bought Bitcoin when Harry Potter came out, so they're probably freaking wealthy.
Yeah, so here you
Yeah.
go. Got the nice box.
Yeah, that no, that so it wasn't even like that. It wasn't even like that. It was just a little bar. It's just a little square bar. To have that in gold, man, that would be ounces um of gold. The thing
I don't know what this
that I
is. It
got
says it's five
quarter ounce.
grand.
The
Oh,
thing
yours
that I
was a
got was
quarter ounce for that much? Holy
yeah,
shit.
quarter ounce bar.
Wow.
That's amazing. That's a great score.
That's
See,
a
Whatnot,
crazy.
man. People knock Whatnot. There's a lot of good deals on Whatnot. I've been like scoring like crazy on Whatnot.
And I got an addictive personality, you know, and so I'm 9 years into recovery, and I kind of know my limits. Whenever I'm starting to get into something that's a little bit over my head, then I know how to stop. And I was addicted to swiping my bid in, man. I'll be right honest with you. That was a wild thing to go in there and 1 second, and then I gotta swipe that. I gotta win. It was more about the win than it was about buying, so I quit.
Oh,
It
okay.
is. Yeah, I could see it does get that way. That's for sure.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah. I stay away from that. I only put custom bids in, and I won't do a
Mhm.
last minute swipe just for that reason. I'm
Yeah,
showing off
because I
my little brand muffin I got here.
oh, that
I'm
looks
showing off
good.
my recent whatnot wins.
Got little oats on my keyboard though. I got to get rid of that. Hold on. There we go.
Dolce de leche croissant.
Oh, and a dolce
Ooh,
de leche croissant.
that
Croissant.
sounds good.
Did
Not
that come
bad.
delivered with your coffee?
No, she went down for the coffee. and she came back with just coffee, and I was like, "What? No food?" And she went back down and got me food. What a trooper! Huh?
The coffee
That's
was
the
She's so good to me, dude.
the coffee
best
was
wife
really
ever.
dumb. Like I
Yeah.
had to beg for a cup.
Yeah. Let's see what the
Oh.
inside looks like. Look at that. Oh. I'll tell you how it tastes. Hold on.
I'm sorry about the chat, folks. I'm trying to fire up my computer. It's so I can see what's going on in the chat. So
Well, we got Transient Stacker stopped in, Emerald Coast stopped in, Monkey King. Oh, excuse me, I was just choking. AJ, which is my wife, is in here. She's a Harry Potter fan, so she could
right on.
relate to that. Transient Stacker says he was stuck in a hotel for a week waiting for his truck to get repaired, and now it's got the same problem again. Oh, that sounds like fun.
Oh, that sucks.
Kane Slaw's in here. Emerald Coast Stacker. Transient's trying to drive that POS back to California. I don't know if you want to go to California.
Yeah.
California's a mess right now.
Hey,
Yeah.
you know, I just thought of something. Your wife is AJ. My wife is Average Jane AJ.
There you go.
So we
That's
both
pretty
got a
cool.
pair of AJs.
Liberty Bleeds. No, I was not emailing someone on Amazon. Thanks for or shopping on Amazon. Nope. I was looking up stuff that we were going to show on screen. Sorcerer Stan's also in here. Goof Morning, he says. Goof Morning as well. Dave Richardson,
Good
welcome in.
morning.
Says hello to the chat and everyone else. Zoltan, what's up, Zoltan? Good to see you in here. I think we're almost caught up. Finn59 show says he likes to cook and eat stuff. That nothing wrong with that.
Oh yeah.
Heck yeah.
Bean Becky,
Sounds like
good morning.
T-Bird.
She says yeah, T-Bird's always cooking something.
T-Bird and Mr. and Mrs. West Texas. I was watching them cook cowboy candy the other day.
Oh,
What were
very
they
cool.
cooking?
That was
Peanut brittle.
interesting.
What were they cooking?
Cowboy candy, I think they called it.
Mm-hmm.
And
Becky
I
says she tried to get her dog to get her a cup of coffee, but that didn't work.
oh no.
Transient says Atmex gave him a free Florida half gold back with his order. Nice.
Oh, very
That was nice of them. They gave me
I
a
was
thumb
thinking
in the
about
bum.
doing that on Pure Metals. Like maybe every $100 you spend, I'll give you a free half gold back.
That'd be pretty cool.
3D Emerald Coast says they received LLC's channel piece and it looks fantastic.
Oh, right on. Right on. Cool. Yeah. Man, it is these ones here, the bee and the stag that I've been pouring. Yeah, this is the prototype. I didn't stamp this one. And the first like couple I didn't stamp that I did for him. I actually had, that was one of the items that I sold too, was I had the original Ionia of Ephesus to go along with this, and a couple of fake bronze knockoffs that I ended up getting. And you know, this is a fun coin to pour. It took me quite a while to figure out how to do it, but I figured out the technique to get the molds to put out a real crisp design, and then getting the edge stamping on it around the edge of the coin. I mean, I had to buy these micro fine stamps to be able to stamp around the outside edge for categorizing them for serial numbers. But these first ones that I did, you know, they had a lot of wavy lines and stuff in them, and the last I got to where I got all those out of them, and they come out pretty sweet.
That's
whenever
pretty
they're
awesome,
done.
man. Can you put that a little closer to the camera, because I'm
It's a
watching on my
two-sided
phone.
mold, and there's a certain way you got to heat the mold, preheat the mold, and a certain way to pour the silver to get it to not have those lines, because silver cools off so quickly whenever you pour it into when you pour it into the casting.
The edge lettering is awesome.
Mm-hmm. So if you don't do it fast enough, if you don't pour it fast enough, you end up getting like half pieces like this. You know, it won't fill the whole mold out if it's not hot enough or fast enough. And
Have you
and then
tried
you
the?
got
Do you use flasks at all, or do you just open sand?
those are poured in a mold. I do open sand casting, and I do and I like this Bigfoot that I poured. I 3D printed this guy, and I 3D printed that. It's got super high relief, but my sand that I use, I just use play sand. That's where T-Bird got the idea for the play sand, is because that's what I use, is just some really fine kinetic sand. And so that round was poured off of this 3D printed coin that I made, and I just printed that up off of the computer.
Yeah, that's
And
pretty cool, man. That's a really good good version of Bigfoot too.
yeah,
I
that,
like it.
and I poured that in a flask, you know. Like these guys right here, this is just poured in a graphite mold. I found that graphite molds are a lot harder to do than pouring in a flask for myself. I even tried pouring into wood, burning some designs and carving designs, and then pouring the copper directly into the wood, and then it didn't turn out too good. But that was my first attempt at a channel round, and it was fun, a fun experience. But I need to get like a CNC mill or something to do it. And one of my friends has a laser cutter, and so I went over to his house and we tried burning out some laser cut stuff into wood to be able to pour into. But whenever you get down to the fine detail that I need, it burns out all, like, some of the stuff I don't want to burn out. And so we're still working on that, trying to find which kind of wood to use and stuff, because the harder woods we were trying to burn that logo into takes more heat, and then you lose more detail. And so that's why I think I'm going to have to use like a CNC router to router it into a piece instead of burning it in with the laser.
So
Now,
you
what
get
would
better
you
detail.
One,
Yeah.
what would you router it into? Like a piece of wood or a piece of metal? Or
no, I would router it into. I want to do it out of wood, and I would router it into oak or madrona, or some really hard maple, or black, or you know, maybe even hawthorn or something like that. That's really hard, hickory, because it takes longer to burn. And I even tried doing some in cedar, and that just, it burns away so fast that
yeah, cedar
you
really
just end up
soft.
with a glob. Yeah. All right. Here we go. I just got my computer to start. It had to, every time I turn this thing on, it does an update, man. I'm gonna have to turn the volume down here. All right.
I imagine, yeah, when the lasers probably have to get probably pretty finicky. You probably have to mess with them quite a bit to get the temperature right when you cut different stuff, I'd imagine.
Yeah. Different woods take different and different amount of time. It's it's got all of its complications, the same as 3D printing. 3D printing, you got to nail in your first layers to make them stick. You got to have your bed clean and all that kind of stuff. And with a laser, you have to have a fume extraction because it makes a ton of smoke. You got to have, you got to program it for each individual spot that you're burning on to be able to not catch the whole darn thing on fire. And so it's got to continuously be moving to a cooler spot of the wood. That was what we were finding out, is that you gotta let's get that piece back out here, getting it burned. So we ended up being able to get a better print of this, and I ended up giving it to my son. But we had the laser sitting here for too long, and so we had to do thinner, faster lines and do a little, like, come down and then come back and get the rest of the D, and then continue the line over here and then come back and get the outside. Otherwise it focuses the heat there for so long that it just roasts it.
Mm.
Yeah, I mean, imagine that's similar to like welding. Like you don't want to weld in one spot for too long and overheat it and warp it and everything.
Yeah. Yep.
I've gotten lucky with my 3D printer. I haven't had, knock on wood, I just had one little hiccup where I had one jam that I just had to fix, but that was an easy fix. And other than that, it's been, my 3D printer's been working like a champ. And I plugged it in, put it together, and I didn't do much too else other than that. So I've gotten lucky with that. But I know they can be finicky, and they can have issues very easily.
Yeah. With mine, so I got the Queedy X Max 3, and then I've got a Anycubic Cobra. It's I think a Cobra 3. So the Queedy X Max can do like the TPUs and all the really cool stuff. The exotic filaments, they call it. And with the exotic filaments, you can make, pull this out. So with the TPU, you can print the flexible stuff, and that's what I use for these mats for the sluice box.
Mhm.
And it's flexible, so it fits into the sections. Like a print, when I make this sluice box, it's individual sections like this that all slide together, and then these guys slide down inside of there. And that was that's what I gave to Humble, with some of these mats, so that he could build himself a sluice
Right.
box. And it's amazing, they pitch some pretty fine gold.
I haven't ventured off into any other materials yet besides the basic what the heck is it? The basic shit that comes with it. I haven't ventured out to any other materials. But when I got my 3D printer, I did splurge a little bit because I figured buy once, cry once, and I got the X1 Carbon, so it's supposed to be able to do all that fancy shit. It's
Yeah.
enclosed and all that. So I'm hoping that when I learn a little more and venture to some different materials, that it will be able to perform easily with those too.
Yeah. Get the PLA down first. If you got the PLA down pretty good, and the X1 Carbon, that's a bamboo, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, those are tons of support. A lot of people use those, and you get a lot of you can find a lot of good, cool files online to be able to download, and it's easy on the editing because people have done so much and use so much filament that they have a huge database for it.
Yeah, I mean, they have their
resources.
own app, so I've gone on their app and I just search something and I find it and I just go ahead and print that. I'm like, I haven't designed shit yet, really, and I've done some cool stuff. So, and I haven't. There's a lot more stuff that I want to do, and I just haven't messed with it. Hard to find time to sit down and mess with it. But when I sometimes I'll just go and I'll start scrolling through the Bamboo app and seeing what's
Mhm.
new and what's cool, and I'll just hit print, and it goes right to the printer, and it just starts ripping it out. It's
Yeah.
crazy what it can do.
You end up to test your stuff out, they got these little benchies. I was doing this for all the filaments whenever I first got them. That's these little boats, and it like if you can fit a filament in the smokestack or in this little hole in the back here, that tells you your tolerances of your machine. And it's there's a lot to it. It was a really big learning curve. Yeah, you got your benchy there. Yep. It's a big learning curve to learn how to do all that stuff. So um, I was getting really frustrated when I first started.
Yeah, I've gotten like I said, I've gotten lucky. This one's pretty much been plug and play for me. Like I was talking to a guy at work who has one, and he has to do the bed leveling and all that stuff, and I'm like, oof, I don't know if I'd do it if I had to go with all that.
Hmm. Yeah, and you can get some pretty cool designs. This one here is like a little D&D miniature that I tried doing, but when I would go down to a smaller size than this, it was really hard to get the details um, that I was getting at this size. So I never really made any miniatures. They want them like this small, instead of that big.
Yeah,
And
it can be tricky when you start going smaller. I've learned that too.
mhm. And then you get like you get uneven when it pulls off the bed. Like this one didn't do it. This box came out really nice. It's you could put coins in it or rings in it. So this is like a coin ring box is what I call it. And um but the first one of these that I did, the bottom of it was curling up off the bed, and so I had to go in and kind of fix it right here. You can see I had to heat it up with a blow dryer and try to flatten it back out, but then that kind of distorted the bottom a little bit. So
I think it was
there's
like
a lot.
I think I saw you had like a treasure chest, and I saw you had printed that, and I was
Yeah,
like, damn, I want one of those 3D printers to be able to do stuff like that.
yeah, that. So I printed a couple of these. I found the model for the treasure chest, and this is a design that needs improvement. And on the bottom of it, it says, "Sorry for the hinges," you know, and I ended up trying to tweak it a little bit myself. If you open it up past right here, then and we made the insert for that to be able to put coins in there. But if you open it up too far, the hinges break off the back. So I just need to um, make it to where it has a whole line of hinges that goes all the way across the back or something. But I found out
Yeah,
the hard way.
Solid,
like a
yeah.
piano hinge or something.
Yeah, I found out the hard way about why it says sorry for the hinges on there.
It's all
Oh,
And
so the
trial and
never
error,
original
and there's
designer put that on there. I get it.
yeah, the
all
original
trial and
designer.
error, and there's a lot of stuff
Mhm.
out there. Man, I started going down the YouTube rabbit hole with 3D printers, and there's a lot of stuff.
Mhm.
Cartier says, can a 3D printer use wax to make a mold for old time wax castings?
They have specific printers that print wax filament, and yes, they can. But they have a thing. Cartier needs to look up lost PLA casting, and you can do that. You can make there's a certain type of PLA that burns away in your mold whenever you cast it in that jeweler's ceramic that you have to use for vacuum casting, um, that will burn away, and it leaves a faint amount of soot, and you end up um, that's the best way to get started. But a lot of people use a resin 3D printer whenever they're doing that.
Oh, those
They go
things are
they
crazy.
Yeah. Uh, I almost bought a resin one because it gives you really fine detail. You don't get all the layer lines. Um, that was something that so I've had a few projects that I've done with the 3D printing. This is one of the projects that I did. I started out with this guy, and it has a ton of layer lines, and dropped it. And then I printed that, and then I used it for sandcast this in aluminum, and then I refined the process down and used some automotive primer and sanded it down and tried to get the layer lines out of it, and then ended up casting this guy, and that's out of copper, and then got it even shrunken down smaller and added some names into it.
Can you put that closer to the camera so we can get a better?
The Watcher Numismatic. This guy was on for a while, trying to get me to do a pour for him, and so I did it, and that was my mold for that, and he wanted it in silver, and I told him to send me a certain amount of money or a certain amount of silver, and all of a sudden he just disappeared off of YouTube, and so I haven't went any further with the project. But it went from this, and pouring you get the layer lines in there, and you don't get those layer lines with the resin. It's just, and eventually I got it down to where I think this is like a 2-ounce bar right here. I wanted it to be only an ounce, but it just takes a lot of fine tuning. So shrinking it, you got to shrink it down, test it again, shrink it down, test it, and pour it again.
FG has it down to a science. He does a lot of he does his molds and 3D prints them, and it turns out really he does some good stuff with it.
Yeah, he prints all his stuff, I'm pretty sure, in PLA as well.
It's the easiest, and then it's easiest to use just to make a plain mold with too. Squatty Aquati, good morning, good to see you. Silver Sleuth is in here, mahalo, great to see you stopping in. Emerald had to go. Thanks for being in here, Emerald. Enjoy your weekend. Rakamas joined us as well. Welcome in, Rakamas.
Hey, Raka.
I think I might have caught up with the chat.
B. Taylor says there's a troll in the chat too.
I think he was referring to your piece.
Oh, yeah.
This
is that guy's. This is an art that guy actually drew. Stacker Numismatic, and this is his this is what he wanted for his channel piece.
Now, is that the guy you said that disappeared, or?
Yeah, I haven't seen him for a while.
I thought maybe you were talking about a silver foil hat that guy disappeared too. What the hell happened to him?
Yeah, we were just talking about him. Whatever happened does anybody know what happened to silver foil hat?
I think his channel is even gone. I mean, I looked for it and I couldn't find it.
I don't know.
If they change their name and move on.
Maybe that's what it is.
Maybe he got over his head into stacking and wanted to keep up with the Joneses, There's so many variables out there.
Yeah, for sure.
I could see Monkey King said he's going out for breakfast in the coin shop. Sounds like a good time to me. I could see where that could happen too. Like somebody starts a channel and then they just get themselves in over their head trying to buy a bunch of stuff for content, and then all of a sudden they're broke and they got to sell all their stuff, and now they don't have anything to make content on.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Let's see where does anybody know what happened to Silver Foil Hat?
Wasn't he running the Discord?
Yeah, he was the one that was in charge of that to try and do the the Stacker Social of the US, and it did not work. I
don't know. I mean, every once in a while I go in there. I get messages from there at times. I'm not a big Discord guy though. I wish I was. My kids
Well,
love it.
I know, like,
but
right now
I
for
just can't
me,
find the time.
for myself right now, like my internet sucks. I don't ever since we've been having all these solar flares and stuff, I've tried doing a whole bunch of changes to my network, and when I'm in the shop where I record, I got repeaters that come down here. Uh and it really is laggy. Like I keep on lagging out from you guys, and
This
uh
is Silver Foil Hat, right? Is this the same one?
Oh, I
Can you
don't
see the
know.
screen?
I can't see it that good. I'm on my phone.
looks like
I
it.
looked for his channel among my subscribers, and I couldn't find it among my subscribers unless I just wasn't looking. I didn't study it, but I went through all the S names. Didn't see
It
it.
says he has 2 videos and 31 subscribers, and that's it.
No,
Hmm.
he had more than that. I thought.
That's what I thought too.
Yeah.
I don't know. That's all I can find though.
Actually, in the chat, Sleuth said that Silverfoil was doing a big relocate. He's relocating, I guess.
Maybe he's moving to Maine or something, or moving to Puerto Rico.
Yeah, he says Foil had a big relocating move, so maybe he's just shut it down for a little while to concentrate on that.
Mm-hmm.
All right. LBS says no, that's not the same one. Okay, interesting.
Yeah, yeah. I couldn't see it, but I definitely looked for it. Searched it out pretty good the other day, and I couldn't find it. I couldn't find an active channel, and it kind of pissed me off because I was like, "Damn, I lost a subscriber."
Uh,
I was like, "No wonder I'm down a subscriber."
He disappeared.
Yeah,
Well,
You
yeah, because
know,
I was reaching out to Stacker Social, and it made me think of tinfoil or silver foil hat, and
yeah.
I looked on the U.S. version of Stacker Social, and it was pretty. Nobody goes in there much, so I don't know. Maybe I might have been looking in the wrong spot. I don't know. Who knows?
Well, I mean, listen, Stacker Social is established. It's been there for a while, and it's
mhm.
just a lot more going on in
Yeah,
there. So
that's a European one, right?
it is, but there's all from people all over the world. It's not just Europeans and.
Yeah, they're
But
all. It's worldwide. I'm in there every now and then.
yeah,
So
yeah.
like,
I can't find the time to get into it. I just can't.
Yeah, like I just went in there because I was trying to reach out to somebody, and that was about it. But yeah, I don't know. I don't have the time either. It's not one of them things that I'm too busy on other shit.
Yeah, and that's a shame too because there's a lot of good info in there, and there's a lot of good people in there too.
They share a
mhm.
lot of stuff in there. They're though I was looking through it when I was on one of my breaks at work, and um the Stacker Social is definitely very active. I
Yeah,
don't know if it's a younger crowd, and that may be why they use the Discord more, because I can't figure out that Discord shit. It confuses me.
it's probably
I
it does me as well, but I think it's just because I don't put the time into it. Anything, you put a little bit of time into it. I couldn't post a YouTube video when I first started. I didn't know what to do. Now I can do it in my sleep.
Yep.
There's like all sorts of different little tabs and this and that, and I get lost and confused.
Yeah,
But I
dazed
guess
and confused.
that's not hard to do for me, I guess. But
Yeah,
yeah, they have like all sorts of little different tabs: auction detail, auction chat, introduce yourself, show
yeah.
your pickups, promote your photos, fill a
Hmm.
tube challenge. They have meetups where you can do meetups, merch swap.
That's pretty cool.
Very cool. Yeah. So
Forge silver. The
I have
silver
a
plus
question for
forge.
3D, if you don't mind.
Yeah,
I
go
don't
ahead.
mind.
Yeah. So you said you were in construction. You put up a little video about a creek and a water wheel thing. Are you in like the landscaping kind of business or?
Um, so I had a tree service that I was going at pretty hard, and that water wheel thing that I did. So that was just kind of something I did for my neighbor, My neighbor, that was a dream of hers that she always had. And I went over and I didn't make the water wheel. I pretty much did a bunch of the excavation with my backhoe, because I got a Kubota, and I I helped dig the pond, dig the creek, place the rocks, and then I did all the stone work that was around the pond. And so I got to get in on that project, and I milled the wood that supported um the water wheel. And then we did a couple of like benches for her. We just did a whole bunch of stuff. Whatever. I just do whatever people want to have done. I do it.
Yeah,
I've been in
that's awesome.
construction for 30 years, and so I've learned a lot of different skills, and I just try to put them to use to help people out to make their dreams come true.
Nice. That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's really cool, actually. I like the idea that you're doing something different all the time. You know, you're not stuck in you're not like in drywall or in whatever tile work where you're doing the same thing every day. It just gets boring.
Yeah. I'm actually in the labor union, and so like lately I've been flagging, just holding the sign, doing traffic control on the side of the road. Whatever they need me to do, then that's what I do, you know?
Yeah. And I'm sure if you're like everybody else in construction, like myself too, you have side projects, and you know that's like more like
Yep,
your passion projects, I would think.
exactly. Yeah. And
Yeah.
you know, one of the reasons I sold off my stack is so I can have a place to store all of my stuff. You know, I sold most of the equipment that I had for my tree service. So that way I had a loan for my business, and I sold all the equipment so that way I could get out from underneath that loan and be able to finance more to buy the house. And you know, it was a choice that I made to move on in life a little bit further. And when I did that, I didn't sell any of my poured pieces. I kept all my poured pieces, and you know, probably 100 ounces of silver, so that way I silver. And but yeah, I I never uh, I want to have a place of my own to uh, be able to keep my stack. But your stack is a savings account. It's not like um it's not an investment, you know. You hear that all the time, and it's so true. And that's what I used it for. I used it as a savings account to be able um to get what my goal was. My goal was to always has been to buy a house with what I was stacking, all my bulk rounds, you know, or whatever you want to call it, my the bulk silver that I had. But
Yeah.
yeah,
That's how I always treat it too, like a savings account. It's nice to, it's harder to spend that way, that's for sure.
Yeah, I I still continue to collect pours. I'll never stop collecting pours from people in the community. And you know, this is just some of my collection of pours that I got. I figured I'd just put them up here. And Capital Currency, I really love supporting his um, channel. And that was some of what I did when I had that big pour on Whatnot, was to help out Capital Currency's channel whenever his furnace was down, so he could keep on pouring. And you know, I think that's part of what keeps our community so awesome, is that we can all come together and help each other out with stuff. But yeah, this is some of the pieces that I've picked up over time. that Capital Currency, he does some pretty cool stuff too. Like these ones here, these Lion and Griffin bars, they're pretty cool. I got a set of those. The they're some of his pours, and that's that pour that I gave to Humble Stacker. Was one of his Eagles, and I think it's one like that one there. And so I already had one, and I bought it the from the Wounded Warrior Project. And whenever I did that, I was like, man, I'm just gonna pass that on to Humble Stacker and get his pour started, because he didn't have very many pours.
There were some nice pieces in that Wounded Warrior auction. That was a very cool thing that they put together
Yeah,
Mhm.
for
Yeah.
sure.
Looks
This
also
year I
like
didn't-
you got a little silver around your right wrist there too.
Oh yeah, yeah. I picked this up. I got a pretty cool connection with my LCS, and I got this thing at pretty darn close to spot melt value. It's a Byzantine, 3 ounces,
Nice.
just over 3 ounces, and then I probably wear about 9 ounces of silver on my body, so that way, in case if I have between my ring, my necklace, and my pocket piece, I got the ring, and I wear a pretty hefty necklace as well. That it's a rope. I thought this kind of looked like a climbing rope for
Yep.
that we use for climbing trees, and so I wear that. And if I'm ever in an emergency situation out away from home, I got almost 10 ounces that I could take to the LCS and say, hey, this is an emergency. I need to get home.
Yeah,
Not
exactly.
that
Yeah,
that'll ever
you wear
happen,
it.
but yeah. And that's how the Vikings did it. The Vikings wore their wealth on their body. They didn't have like a treasure chest that they stored all that stuff in.
Mhm.
And pirates were like that too. I think I'm lagging out.
Yeah, you're lagging a little bit, but not too bad. We got Muscle Shell showed up. Welcome in. Thanks for showing up. Bullion Brent is in here as well. Just showed up. Thank you for waking up with us this morning. Nobody can beat T-Bird's table of pours.
No, man, that guy's got a ton of pours.
He likes he does his copper pours. He's got a 3D printer, or he's either going to get a 3D printer or a laser printer. He can't decide which.
I think he should get a laser printer. That way he could laser print molds, somebody
I
that
think he was
really
saying
helped.
there's machines that do both.
Yeah. I wouldn't get one of those dual purpose machines myself after experiencing the 3D printing. I would not do it. That's just my personal opinion because of the dust that a laser printer uses or kicks up, and the cleanliness that you need to run a 3D printer. I have to clean my 3D printer all the time to keep all the dust out of it,
Yeah, that would be that is a little conflict. I could see where that wouldn't really work too well. It's a
Yeah.
new concept that they're trying too. That's why.
Yep. Yeah.
And I think they're going to end up with issues, like you said, because you do have to. It's separate. But
Mhm.
can you use? I think you can use a laser printer to like etch on silver and copper and stuff if you get the right one.
Yeah. Yeah, you can. Yep.
Like I have a Trump bar, and I think it was just basically it's from
First Mint.
It's from First Mint, and it was just etched. It's just an etched bar, like.
Yeah, that's a pretty cool bar. What, you got it handy to show it?
Uh, I could dig it out.
So
You have to go
it
in the
would be something.
backyard and dig it up.
It would
I
be
got it.
silver,
I keep all my silver
similar
under
to.
the dog's food bowl, so in case anybody wants to grab it under the dog's food bowl, they're more than welcome to try.
Yeah. Make sure you wearing chainmail though.
Yeah. So that would be similar to something like this, but on silver. So this is
Yeah.
something that's from Liberty Copper, and it has it's just a bar that they laser etched.
Very
And
nice.
there's tons of different uses for a laser printer besides cutting in. Like, you can use a laser printer to cut your mold into graphite. And I seen B Taylor, he said, do I use a vacuum during the print? And that is big no. I do use a vacuum. After I'm done printing, I'll go in and clean that thing out, because you end up getting little tiny pieces of filament all over throughout the printer, and it is a mess in there. So, and especially with all the, if I'm doing sanding and stuff with silver, then that dust from sanding pieces down on I have a couple of like a buffer and a grinder and a belt sander that sometimes I use when I'm making pieces, and that stuff gets all over in the air, and so I'll have to go and clean it up and keep it. Cleanliness is next to godliness. You've heard that before, probably, right?
No question.
I don't know. I think I neglect my 3D printer. I haven't used it a whole lot, but I haven't done any cleaning of it or anything.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
But it's in my office. It's not like it's getting dusty and everything in there, so it's
Yeah,
not too bad.
it's not in a shop or something. So
Yeah.
you're probably pretty good in there.
My
yeah.
Silver Journey,
Whenever
good morning.
Hey, MSJ.
Or almost
Right on.
afternoon for you.
MSJ.
MSJ was great. He is great. That guy helped me out with my channel a lot. Helped me to be able to get started. Him and Tuli to figure out how to make a channel work and how to set things up as far as like my microphone. I'm not even using a mic today, but I'm just running off of my phone. But Tuli she's been a great support for my channel, great moderator. And MSJ, man, he's gotten a couple coin rings from me. And I just got to give a shout out to him. He's an awesome dude.
I was gonna say that. I thought I saw him do a video where he picked up one of your coin rings.
Yeah, he did. He's got two of them now. Did a walk-in Liberty $50 for him recently for his pinky. Yep.
I also saw where you did Capital Currency says, what's a microphone? Yeah.
Yep.
I also saw where you did like sobriety, you used like a sobriety coin to do a ring with.
Yep, yeah. I have tons of AA coins and NA coins, and I keep them all in this thing here, and that way I can do people's birth years and or their sobriety dates. There's a ton of different style of AA tokens, and I really like using this style right here because it makes a really good coin ring. And so this style, you get the unity, service, and recovery that end up being on the outside of the ring. I don't have any AA or any recovery rings right now that I've made. But I do have videos on making them. I sent one of them over to the other side of the world, you know, um,
Nice.
to Germany, to a guy, where you can pop. I use all the sayings that are on the back, and they're really small words, and I cut those out and made them into beads and put them on a bracelet for some ladies. I made 3 of those bracelets for a lady and all the other ladies that she sponsors.
I remember watching that video. That was very cool. That's great idea and very creative.
Yeah, and so I do a lot of different types of stuff, you know, in trying to learn a lot of different phases of jewelry making, so um, that way I can do stuff like Joe Durbin inspired me to, you know, this is a Joe Durbin bell, man. This thing, it rings so nice. The Joe Durbin bell. It's made out of some half dollars and little Liberty dime or up
Mercury
there.
dime.
Yeah, Mercury dime, and so I tried to make one myself. Doesn't quite ring the same. I overheated this thing, man, when I was trying to solder it, and the coin actually exploded. Like those
Oh, wow.
parts that are missing, I got it so hot that they popped off of the coin when I was making the bell, so it doesn't ring too great.
Kind of
But
looks like the
I've
Liberty
made,
Bell at this point.
yeah,
Yeah, there you
I've
go.
made
Little
I've made a
chip out of
couple
it.
of them, and that's the one that I kept. I gave my first one to my grandma, and I'm gonna I got a couple of guys that ride Harleys that want some made for their bikes, so biker bells, and so that's another project that I got in the works, and I just do a lot of different kind of stuff. Whenever it comes to this, I've been trying to make some make jewelry. I pulled all this wire and made some jump rings, and there's a bracelet in there I tried to make, but soldering it's just like pouring. It's not easy. You got to learn how to heat stuff up without melting the silver, just at its melting point to get the solder to stick. And I just I don't have enough time to all of these different things, so I just try to focus on one at a time, you know.
And
Learn what I can.
you started doing all this just in the last 12 months, or
Yeah, yeah, yep.
that's pretty awesome, man. You accomplished a lot in that time period.
Yeah.
And YouTube University.
Yeah, no, that's true. YouTube is great for that. It really is.
Do you still
Really
do?
awesome.
I saw one of your videos. You're going to like a art show type thing to sell your rings and stuff. Do you still do that or?
Um, yeah, that's why I printed these little boxes right here, is so that way I could. So those are all Sacagawea style coins. This one here isn't. This is a Canadian coin, but most of these are all the presidential and Sacagawea style dollars, and that's presidential dollar, and that could be a dual purpose box, you know. These are these here are these are all from that style of a coin. So I took this one and I just polished it up super shiny and made it into like a gold wedding band, but it's manganese or whatever that product is that they use for making that coin. and there's you can leave the image on there or polish it off. You can do the same thing with silver. You can polish all the will end up becoming all the words will end up getting polished off of it. Every time I clean it, it gets loses a little bit of detail, but you can make those all the way out. This is a size 14.5 that I did that was a test for a guy. He's into gaming, so he wanted the player one. There's a player $1, and he wanted that on his ring, so I made him a player one coin ring.
Mm-hmm.
Very cool.
Yeah.
210, good morning. Thank you for being in. Average Jane's giving an angry face to you, Joe. I don't know what that's about.
Yeah, I ate the rest of her chocolate chip muffin while she was across the other side of the room. She left it laying here, and I was like, yeah, bad idea. So she's pissed off at me. I ate the rest of her muffin.
You got to go get her another muffin now. Now you got to go get a muffin.
Yeah, right.
Mhm.
So Becky, in the chat, Becky was saying she liked that shell right there where you got your hand.
Oh, this one. Yeah, I got that from Capital
that
Currency.
caught my eye too, man. Is that made from a real scallop shell or?
You'll have to ask Capital Currency on that. He's the one that poured it.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's pretty awesome. That thing caught my eye. Yeah.
Yeah, I went on there and it was like, man, that is a cool piece
Yeah, it's a nice one.
of things up and I mean it's heavy. It weighs 4.5 ounces. So
Wow. I didn't realize it was that heavy. Wow, it's thick.
A lot of copper. Yeah, that thing's got some weight to it.
Capital Currency said in the chat, yes, that was made from a real shell. Well, I assume that's what he meant yes about.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
That's
Taylor
pretty.
says
Yeah.
Joe the grizzly bear.
Yeah, I saw that. Hey, man, you can't leave food out in front of me. You can't.
William Brent, thanks for stopping in. Appreciate you. Yeah, that's my wife always gets mad when I eat food or drink. Like she'll get root beer or something. I'll drink the root beer. I'm like, well, you don't get it. I'm gonna eat it or drink it. Like, I don't know what to tell you.
I know
Yeah,
my wife is famous for she'll eat like half her food at the restaurant and bring it home, and then if it's laying around, I'm gonna eat it, right? And she'll get mad at me. She'll say, "Don't touch my food." And then 2 weeks later, I'm like, "What is this? Oh shit! A dried up old hamburger or something." Throwing it away. I'm like, I could have ate that 2 weeks ago. I don't know.
Yeah, like she bought a box of Ritz and it has just small packs in there. So when I get home from work, I eat a pack of Ritz. It's a nice little snack when I get home. Well, then she's like, I only had one pack in there. And I'm like, well, it's been here for a month. I'm like, I don't know what you're waiting for. I'm like, shit, if you're not going to eat it, I'm going to eat it. I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah.
You buy it to look at or what? I don't know.
Maybe she should hide them. That's what my wife does. She hides stuff in the bedroom. She I find her stash.
Our dogs would find it.
No, I find it. And I'm like, nobody's looking.
Capital Currency says, oh, no, actually, that was a drawer handle he found.
Oh,
I've
okay.
poured real shells, too, though. He's poured real shells, but not that one.
Gotcha. It looks like somebody did, though, originally to make the drawer handle.
Yeah.
So you could say that it came from a real shell.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, B. Taylor says they're prepping. they're getting all this food just to prep. They don't want us to eat it.
Exactly. Yeah, maybe that could be. Could be. She does tend to be a little bit of a hoarder.
B and Becky says, put your name on it, like in the office fridge.
Trust me, she does that.
We've done that. Like my wife, she bought flan one time while I ate most of it because it just sat in there. And then she's like, so next time she bought 2 of them. And so she put her name on it. I'm like, oh, okay.
It's pretty sad, man. When you know, you got to put your name on your food, but it is what it is. Can't help myself.
I mean, yeah, it's there. I'm gonna eat it. And I told her, I said, well, this was at the time she was working 2 jobs and 6 days a week. I'm like, well, I'm here more often, I'm home more often, so I'm gonna eat it. Like
Yeah.
I'm home, I'm hungry, I'm snacky. I'm gonna eat this shit, okay? I'm like, I don't know what to tell you.
Well,
Sorry.
my
Want me to go
cousin
get you
used
another
to
one?
my cousin used to live with a couple of different dudes, right? There was three guys that lived together back, when they were young.
Well, forget
And
about it.
they had a big sign on the refrigerator. Anything in the fridge is fair game.
That's
That's
the way
it,
it
man.
should
If it
be.
goes in the fridge, it's fair game. From beer to food.
Silver Sleuth, you're right. His and hers flan. That's what it is too.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Well, at least
When
she bought two.
when my brother and I lived on our own. We lived together when I was like a senior in high school, and
Damn.
I partaked in the devil's lettuce a little bit. Well, we both did, but like, and everything was gone. If it was in there to be eaten, it was gone. It was like my brother would be like, "Man, I just bought that." I'm like, "Well, I don't know what to tell you. That half gallon of milk and box of Fruity Pebbles is gone. Okay, that went in a mixing bowl all at the same time. I don't know what to tell you. Here, smoke this. I'll go to the store. I'll be right back." I remember I
Oh,
went to Aldi's one time. I had a whole conveyor belt full of food, and this is like when debit cards first came out, and they wouldn't accept a debit card. And I'm just like, well, I don't know what to tell you, and I left. I don't know how that story came up, but I thought I'd share that with you guys.
oh, good share. Good share. Thanks.
A lot of the times
Hypocrite.
now,
Don't bring your debit card to Aldi. That's the moral of the story.
They might use them now. I don't know. I
I'm
couldn't
sure they
tell you.
do. I'm sure they do.
But a
a lot
currency
of the
says,
times
hey,
they don't
go ahead.
want a lot of the times they don't take cash, you know.
You
Yeah,
know,
that's
if
un-American.
if my
Yeah.
dad goes somewhere and they don't take a check, he'll leave. He still writes a physical check.
Yeah.
Wow.
He does not believe in credit cards, debit cards, none of that shit.
Yeah.
But see,
I mean,
he'll
I
like,
use checks. I'll bring checks to the coin shop and I'll give the coin shop checks. He don't mind because he puts them in and they're in his account the same day. I think we use the
Yeah.
same bank or something.
well, now you can just take a picture of it.
Yeah.
You just open your app, take a picture of it, and it's there.
Yeah. I'll do checks on stuff like when I'm buying inventory for whatnot sales. I'll use checks because it's just, traceable. It's, a record of it.
Yeah, my
But
tax guy told me not to use cash when buying stuff for whatnot and everything.
yeah, yeah, that just makes perfect sense. Of course, you want a paper trail, right?
I guess
I guess.
I gotta figure all that part out.
What are those 3D?
So this is a 3D. This was my first attempt at a 3D printed bar, and so I did this. I had my son make the design out of PLA, and then I wanted a wood grain look, and then I wanted to be able to stamp my logo in there, but it didn't come out as good as I wanted with the stamp I had. So that was my prototype 3D printed bar, and I since got a bigger stamp to be able to have my whole logo fill that circle on
Mhm.
there. And so that we got 3D printers are pretty awesome with the technology that you have. You can do a bunch of different things, and I'll put the quality of the silver here, and then I toned it after I was done, trying to get it to mimic this as best possible.
Yeah.
And I wanted to get more browns and greens out of it, but it ends up being kind of purple and purple and green, the way that the toning works
Yeah.
with the liver of sulfur. But this was another fun project. And then this one here, I pretty much leave it out in the shop all the time, and it just it's getting darker and darker all the time because there's that moisture and stuff in the shop. Natural toning going into it.
Yeah, I did a little series of videos like to try and how to get silver to tone, like store them in different ways. And one I left, I did these little 3-ounce tombstone bars, and one I left wrapped, one I put unwrapped in the same box as the wrapped one, and then a third one I used as a pocket piece, and a fourth one I put outside my house. I just left it outside in the sunlight. It could get rain, it could get, it's just out. And
Whatever happened to that series?
I don't know. You know what? I was in the pool the other day and I looked over and I was like, oh shit, there's that silver bar. I forgot about it. It's just been laying out there for like 7-8 months, dude.
Is that
It's pretty
3 ounces
brown
of
at this
silver?
point. Yeah, it looks pretty good. I'm actually gonna bring it in and do a video about it when I get back home.
There's that $100 bill over there.
Yeah, it wasn't $100 bill when I started, but it grew into one. It's more than 100 now.
More than one now, yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Speaking of, what do you guys think? What's going on with this price? It went to 37. I figured it'd be a pullback, and I thought it was going to get back down to 34, but it hit 35, and 35 might be a little bit of support, huh?
Yeah, 35.83, right? Me personally,
Well,
I
actually,
think honestly, I think it's gonna take off. It's just consolidating a little bit right now. It's consolidating right around that 36, and I think it's gonna launch. I really do.
yeah, that's the scary thing. I don't know. I don't like it launching just
Well,
because
it's
that means
just
there's
been
too much.
held back for so long. It's just the way silver is. Silver is. If you look at a historical chart, it launches, it drops, and it just goes static for 5 years, and then it launches again and it drops, and each time it just ladders up a little bit more. So if you draw a line from one end to the other, it's a steady progression upward, but it's just big amplitude, big swings. That's just silver, man. Gold is more steady. It's a steady climb.
Yep.
But I saw a video the other day and there were some comments about the gold silver ratio, how the gold silver ratio doesn't mean anything. And we've had this conversation a million times. Like the metals are unrelated. I don't think it even matters that you can have a tulip bulb in gold ratio. It doesn't really matter what you're comparing. It's just the comparison of two prices. So it doesn't matter if the metals are related or not. It's just a way to tell how one metal is, price wise, according to another. Like the gold silver ratio is just gold priced in silver. That's the way you got to look at it. It doesn't matter that they're connected or not.
It's just like saying, the spot price. The spot price is basically the gold to dollar ratio, if you want to look at it. You could just call it the gold to dollar ratio if you want to call it that
Sure.
instead of the spot price.
Yeah.
It's just a different measurement. That's all.
Yeah, and if somebody says, "Hey, how much is gold?" Gold right now is 93 ounces of silver. That's the
So,
price.
yeah,
That's really all it is.
it's just a different way to measure it.
Right. And
It-
that's a way to tell whether gold is expensive or silver is cheap. That's all it is. It's not a
overvalued or undervalued.
That's it. Totally.
So this gold right here is what I got out of so far 3 buckets of that sand that I got from Cape Disappointment, and it is so hard to process this stuff and get it out of the black sands. You always end up getting a little bit of black sand, and it's not even enough to pick up on the radar or on the metal detector yet. So it takes a lot more effort to go out there and mine your own gold and all that. Whenever silver is a byproduct, usually whenever they have a gold mine, that in the mining process, it's a byproduct that that comes after, after they get the gold out, then they'll have another process that separates the silver or the platinum or the copper, but gold and copper are usually mined as the main target, and then the gold and silver, once it's done, or the gold and platinum and all those other metals,
Yeah.
The silver is a byproduct. So people don't even think about how much effort it takes to actually get that gold out of the
Now,
ground.
when we had Humble in last week, I could swear he said he got more gold out of that sand. Didn't he have more buckets, or did he have 6 and
No,
you had 3?
I had so me and my son went down. You can get 2 buckets per person, and we took buckets from all different areas on that beach. So hit the buckets that he got, he like really strategically picked where his buckets came from.
Mhm.
And I was just getting them in all different places of the beach, but he found a spot that was pretty hot and focused on that area. And for his 2 buckets, I gave him one of the buckets that I had gotten from that same area as well, I think. And so I just I've been running them through my sluice box, and what you get is, on average, when you're panning that stuff out, you get like probably 10 little specks per tablespoon of sand of gold. And this little container right here has like thousands of specks of gold, flied poop or whatever they want to call it, however they classify it. Yep. The oh wow, techno.
Yeah, what happened there?
I was
But
just trying to stay awake.
but yeah, it's really hard to see that stuff. Even it's so tiny. Yeah, I mean, that's hours and hours and hours of work to get that stuff out of there. And it when I look at it, it feels negligible.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I was thinking. I didn't want to insult you, but I was like, damn, that's a lot of work to put in. You could have flipped burgers at McDonald's and made more money. But
I
it
could
wouldn't
have,
have been
I,
fun though.
I wouldn't have gotten that experience, and we learned a lot. Like, we were in the total wrong part of the beach. We got to talk to an old timer, and he
Yeah.
said, "Oh yeah, you guys are new at this, huh?"
I guess so.
And he gave us some tips. So next time I go down,
You know all the hot spots. He was like trying to keep you away from his territory?
not so. I don't think, not so much. I think more just enjoying being able to share the knowledge. He actually told us where to go and how to be a little bit more successful. And his wife was like, "Hey, you need to knock that off. You just had a soul replacement surgery from carrying them buckets. You don't need to be digging in the dirt."
Right. Exactly.
And I guess that guy, he does really good. He goes out and he does like I'm doing, runs a gold cube or a sluice box, and does it right there on the beach. But you have to get a mining permit in order to do that. And we didn't have a mining permit to be able to sluice box on the beach. We just had to take some buckets and process them at home.
Yeah, that's what Humble was saying. You got to set up down there. That's the most efficient way, of course, But I guess if it was really good, you'd have a bunch of people down there just sluicing away, right? Cleaning it all up.
Yeah. Yep. And he said
Damage the
he's
pro-
had
damage the
weekends
land.
where he goes down for, that guy said he's had weekends where he went down there for for several days, camped out, and came back with half ounce, an ounce, 3/4 of an ounce, depending on the
Shit.
area that he goes to. And you just it takes a lot of effort. So I want to try it again. I recently got my motorcycle endorsement, and I want to get my setup to where I can ride down there on my on my touring bike and be able to take the full setup of equipment with me and then bring back, 100 pounds of concentrates in Ziploc bags and be able to run those at home.
Nice.
And then that'll be
So, blue collar,
Fun,
did
yeah.
you take a stack of Goldbacks with you on this cruise?
Oh, you saw that? Oh, you
I'm
saw
like
that?
looking.
Why, you don't travel with Goldbacks?
That's like a freaking whole stack. What the hell?
All right, there's a story behind that.
All in plastic too.
I bought these. I didn't make my video on it yet, but I bought these last week, and well, before I came on the cruise, so the week before. And what I'm going to do is on the way home from this cruise, I'm going to stop at Alpine Gold and trade them in for Florida Goldbacks.
Oh, cool.
So you're gonna say you're just
So
gonna
I-
start like flinging them out the window or something. I don't know.
No, I use them as tips. So yeah, no, that's the reason I have a stack of Goldbacks with me, is because it's an hour. It's between the port and my house is where they're located. So that's why I brought them this time to drop them off on the way back and pick up Florida Goldbacks. So I'm trading in the New Hampshire and
Why
other
are you
states.
trading in those?
Why are they going to be worth more?
Yeah,
You think?
I don't know. I
Because
try
they're
not to
changing the
think.
designs. They're changing the design, but I don't know. I just think the Floridas sell better.
They're new because it's the Alpha series. Is that what it is?
I don't even think it's that. I just think it's new. It's different artwork. You know, when the newer ones come out, which is like September, October, I think they said, Oklahoma and Arizona are coming out, and then they're going to drop the new redesigned ones toward the end of the year for Utah, New Hampshire, and I think Wyoming.
I thought those were gonna come out 2026.
Yeah, but I think they're 2026 dates, but I think they're coming out like December. I could be
Capital
wrong.
Currency said. Capital Currency says that's very nice of you to give everybody in the chat Goldbacks.
Yeah. Ooh.
You get a gold back. You get a gold back.
Oprah Winfrey, you gotta go back. Nah, I brought them with me, and that's all I have to show. I got my little Goldbacks, and I got my Morgie, and my piece.
Kind of showed my
Keep
muffin.
mine.
Hey, don't get dirty. Don't get dirty.
So,
My wife wants me to show you guys her muffin.
whoa! I thought you ate it.
You
This
already
is a family show, all right?
This is Saturday morning. Hold on now. That's Monday night.
Okay.
So 3D, I sort of borrowed this idea 3D printed. It's normally for like regular currency, but I
Uh-huh.
sized it down to fit Goldbacks.
Oh, that's cool.
So you just
I like
fit a
it.
stack of Goldbacks in there, and then this little, then it protects them. It's a nice little hard case to protect them.
Yep.
Uh-huh.
He even made one
And
for
then
me with my channel name on it.
I even got one that
Sweet.
says Goldbacks,
Goldbacks, yeah.
Uh-huh.
and then one. Where is? It's over here. Hold on, I gotta grab it. Hey. And then I did these that say Average Joe.
Nice.
Yeah, super cool.
And then I
Yeah,
said if
man.
he wanted to, he could just take a marker and he can color in the lettering if he wants for a little art project.
Yep.
Nah, not interested.
But I thought I thought that was pretty cool. I just sort of redesigned it a little bit to fit.
Can you figure out how to 3D print some Goldbacks?
And I got a nice little stack that fits in there too. Maybe
Because if we can figure that out,
not be
we're gonna get rich.
they might not be made out of gold, but they'll be gold. They'll be TPU backs,
There you go.
PLA backs. I got
Well,
mine in
I would say most of this is plastic anyway. I never weighed a Goldback. That's a good project. There's a video. I just came up with a video idea. Weigh, like, say 10 Goldbacks. Because you weigh one, you're not going to get a weight. Weigh, like, say 10 Goldbacks. figure out the weight of the 10 gold backs, add up the gold, and figure out how much of that is actually gold.
Oh, that Sri Tips, he melted them down. He did it all and he got some out of there.
Yeah, but I'm not going to go that far. He said that the gold was right on the money.
Yeah, he did do that.
Yeah.
B Taylor,
So
I'm gonna try and put those cases on my whatnot and see what happens with them. I was gonna put them on pure metals, but actually I do have some. You have to buy the gold backs to get the case because you can't just sell the case on there because of tax purposes. Nash said.
Mm-hmm. That's a great idea.
Yeah, it is very
So
good idea.
I do have some listed on there, but you have to buy the gold backs and you get the case for free, and nobody's asked about them. But somebody was lowballing me on gold last night, and they were comical.
Mm.
Or this morning, I should say.
Well, you can't blame that person for throwing an offer out. I mean, I would
No,
be
but
happy with actually just getting offers right now. I
I was. I actually was. You're right. I was.
Yeah. And they're trying to get it for below melt, but listen, it's not how it works.
It was just.
Nope.
It was. I'm sorry, but it was just funny because he was like he wanted it at melt because that's what his coin shop is gonna give him.
Well, go to the
And
coin shop.
I'm like, I get it, but I'm not. He's like, well, if I need to get rid of them, and I'm like, well, if you're buying them with the thinking that you need to get rid of them, you might not want to be buying precious metals. I don't know. Just my
Yeah,
thinking.
definitely not. No, go buy some Bitcoin.
Yeah, I don't know. That's
Need to
you're
work on his needs to work on his exit strategy.
Yeah, man.
yeah.
So, Vegas, do you mind if we promote Monday night while we got some people in here? Let's promote Monday night. We got Monday Night Metals at 9 p.m., not 10. Usually we're at 10, and I'm talking Eastern time. But this Monday we're going to have the incomparable Dub C. Dub C will be in with us on Monday night.
If you don't know Dub C, he has knowledge coming out the ass.
Knowledge out the ass. That's his channel motto, I believe.
Look at this. It's like Beetlejuice. You started talking about him and he showed up.
Oh, he's there?
He just showed up. He says,
That's
"Who
so
is
funny,
Monday?"
dude. And I didn't even see that, man. I just said, let's promote Dub for Monday night.
I don't know. I think did he send you a text or something? You guys had
He
that.
didn't.
That was a
No,
pretty good
Dub doesn't give up
transition.
his phone number. He's like the CIA. They can't give their phone numbers up.
That was a pretty good transition.
Yeah, very good transition, and that was not planned. Believe me. So
Wait, I
Dub
think
C, just like last night when Dub C was mentioning me, I happened to show up in his chat last night, right the moment he was mentioning me.
Yeah,
So
see?
there you go.
YouTube is pretty crazy. My
Coming
brother,
remote.
3D, my brother said he wants a coin ring. I'll give him the information. I'll give him your email.
Yeah, that'd be great.
He's not a jewelry guy neither. That's weird.
Well, some people that I've made these coin rings for, they'll put them on a necklace and wear it on a necklace. And a bunch of them that I've sold were just so they could have it to be able to have something unique.
I
It
wonder
is
if you
cool. Yeah,
could.
absolutely.
I wonder if you could do a bunch of coin rings and then chain them together, make like a bracelet or a necklace out of a chain of coin rings. That'd be
That would
pretty
be
heavy.
that'd be pretty hefty.
Yeah,
Yeah,
You
there's
don't
a lot
open
of
them up
different
though.
things you can do with them.
yeah,
You'd have to split them and then solder them.
Yeah.
yep.
Or you could just solder a ring in between each one. You can
There you
make
go,
them
yeah.
flat. You can flatten them out. So, what I've been doing is you get a lot of, you're able to make little rings out of it, I guess. So this here is the inner punch that was punched even smaller. From the coin ring, I just try a bunch of different stuff, and you can take that inner punch and make different types of jewelry, but I'm sure you could make links with this to connect, cut that, and then use that to solder two coin rings together. So that would essentially go in between those and hold them together, and that would be a spectacular piece. I like that idea.
Mm.
Or replace your bracelet.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, you're
Yeah.
talking some serious weight there too, right?
Yep.
MSJ, thanks for stopping by. He said he's pulling up to work, so he's getting into work.
All right,
This one's
thanks,
new.
Capital
MSJ.
Currency wants
Appreciate
a tunic made of coin rings.
A tunic,
Yeah.
a whole shirt made out of it.
It'd be like a
like a
medieval.
chainmail,
Yeah.
silver
yeah, like-
chainmail.
This is one that this is one of those pieces that I punched out and then stretched it out and made it to where I think it's like a size 6 ring. And that's just a ring made from a punched out size 4.5. Size 4.5 that I made off of one of those punched out pieces. And I made 3 of these and sold one of them to a lady that just wanted a piece of a coin that was made into a ring, and that was a fun project. There's
Nice. Space Miner just popped in. How you doing, Space Miner? What's happening?
I mean, I imagine you could do it. Let me see. I gotta make you small, resize. Like this is just to the focus.
What is-
this? Is just like a little link, and it just splits, and then you just push it back together. You can do that similar with like the rings.
The bigger question: what's in that big box behind you there?
Yeah,
Oh,
that's what I was
Nobody's
gonna
asked
say.
me yet. I was
What's
waiting for
in
somebody
that
in the
box,
chat.
dude?
I was waiting
I
for
wanna
somebody in
see
the
that.
chat to say, "Hey, what's in the box?" But nobody asked. You had to be the one to ask. That'll be in a video. I don't want to open it yet.
Oh,
I got to do a video
teaser.
of the opening of that one.
Can you show us at least where it came from? Like,
Yeah,
Germania.
what mint is it?
Germania mint.
Germania mint. Ooh.
It's a fancy germanium mint box.
Straps. If it comes with straps, it must be something really cool.
There, I should have showed that part. There we go. That's the money shot.
Vegas,
Mhm.
you could make that full screen. That would really be impactful. Now you're talking.
We got the director here.
Yeah.
Zoom in, zoom in. There you go. Oh, beautiful. All right, good. Zoom out, zoom out. Good, good, perfect. Hold that shot. Good. Germanium mint.
Right
I
there.
like it. I like it.
I want to
All
open
right,
it
that's.
too.
I guess that's all we're gonna get today. So hopefully, sometime before August, we'll see the rest. Yeah. LBS, that
Maybe.
was for you.
LBS might have left. I don't know. We might have been talking
No,
about
but
something
he's
that he
definitely
didn't.
listening. He knows I put that in there for him.
We might have been talking about something he didn't want to listen to, so he might have left.
Maybe, but maybe not.
I was gonna quit on doing unboxings, but then I got this box, and I'm like, I got to do an unboxing of this one. B Taylor says, "Am I selling one or two? I'm gonna sell the box. I'm not gonna open the box. It's just gonna be on Pure Metals, and it's you just gotta guess what's in the box, but you gotta buy the whole box."
Oh, it's a mystery box. That's a big mystery. That's a big commitment for a mystery right there.
That would be a big commitment.
I'm guessing there's got to be at least 10, 15 ounces in that box.
You know how many's in there, don't you?
Of course I do. I'm just trying to. I'm a straight man. I'm throwing it to you. I'm throwing it to you.
Space Miner says Germania is who inspired me to take on the vapor deposition holographic rounds of mine. Okay, nice.
Yeah,
No, I'm
Germania
not
makes
opening it up, B. No, it's not a box of copper.
No. Only average Joe buys boxes of copper.
No, 365 also buys lots of copper.
Yeah.
Did you see that video he did yesterday? I sent you the link and you got in towards the end, but he if you go back and watch it, it's like all copper. It's crazy.
Yeah, I jumped in at the end. That's it. And I got to go back and watch it.
It's crazy.
Hey, since we're on the subject of copper, I got a bunch of these cool copper rounds, and I don't know how you guys feel about it, but I'm willing to do a giveaway. I don't know if you guys do giveaways on the morning. And I'll give away one of these copper rounds and a sticker and a poker chip.
Oh, sweet.
Very nice. That is very nice
Can I
of you.
enter in there?
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm kidding. I can't enter. I'm not eligible.
Is there a certain way you want to do the giveaway?
You could ask a question about one of your videos.
Hey, that's good. That's a good one.
Ask a question and see who knows the answer. Whoever knows the answer gets it. First correct answer.
All right. Yeah, I got a bunch of different varieties of these things, and I think that go with one of these fish rounds here, and we'll just say the first person who can type the slogan of my 200 subscriber giveaway.
Ooh.
All right.
What was the main theme of that 200 subscriber giveaway that I was promoting?
200 or 250?
250. Yeah, 250.
250.
That was when I did the auction.
Come on, chat. Who's gonna get it?
Capital Currency says Angels.
That was my my helper, and I did have some angels in there. That's pretty close. I was promoting community community awareness pretty much, and it was thankful for my community and what I was trying to share with everybody during that event.
It looks like I watched half of that, but I can't. That was 4 months ago. I don't know. I can't remember yesterday.
Well, that'll
yeah, you guys got time to go back. You can go back and watch it real quick.
Mm-hmm.
It's there.
PSA. What Rockus says PSA?
Public service announcement. Yeah,
Come on, guys.
Angels, that is yes, that is a silver spoon in the coffee. All my silverware that I use is silver. I bought a set so that way I can have some good quality silver. These things weren't cheap either, man. They were pretty much an ounce per piece, and I bought them for pretty much at melt from my local. He was gonna melt them, and I said, "Dude, give me that set." And he's like, "All right, no problem."
Oh, you got them from your coin shop, or you said?
Yeah.
You cut out for a second. Yeah.
Yeah, I got him from the LCS. He pretty much sold them to me at melt, and so I was trying to get some silver to make silver spoon rings and stuff like that when I was digging through his collection, and I probably got about. I didn't sell any of those when I liquidated. Probably got about 5 pounds of silver spoons, and this set was just too nice to let go. Yeah.
B. Taylor, at least you had a silver spoon in your mouth.
We've lost some viewers, so I'm hoping they went to go watch your video real quick.
Yeah,
Oh yeah,
it was.
they dropped out.
Capital Currency says one thing I've never had is a silver spoon. Oh, day I'll get some though. I'm guessing he meant one
One
day he'll
day.
get some though.
Yeah.
Mhm. You know,
Yeah, we went from like
silver.
17 down to 13, so I'm guessing they're out. Some people are out there watching it. Dub C's
Mhm.
still here. That's all that matters because he knows he's got knowledge out the ass.
Yeah.
Still here. Dub C in the house. Oh,
Dub
but
C, who's Monday?
everybody, think of your questions over the next 2 days. You want to ask Dub C. We're gonna
Oh
pepper him
yeah.
with questions.
I
That's
got a good I got a
All
good
right.
question for Dub C. Cartier
So
Silver's still here.
it doesn't look like anybody's gonna come up with the answer to this. What's going on,
oh.
guys? Come on.
Nobody knows.
Well,
Nobody. I think I could guess, but
I'll even include you guys into the lineup there. I
All right,
don't. I'm not.
Vegas. What's your guess, Vegas?
What's your guess?
I see a lot of hearts on there. Is it something to do with a heart?
Um, kind of. The it was what I was trying to inspire in the community.
Love. It's all
The
about the love.
oh yeah, I was uh man, almost all these people that are here were in that live stream too. Um, and it was in the banner the whole time. Yep, smiles. T-Bird's got it.
T-Bird. T-Bird. You can always count on
T-Bird's got
T-Bird,
it.
man.
There you go, T-Bird. You're the winner.
You
T-Bird
just
gets
gotta
Miles
more
and
prove that you
copper.
miles
can't
of
melt it
smiles.
down for to make a T-Bird bar out of it.
No.
T-Bird gets more copper.
Yep. Yeah, he's gonna get a copper round. I'll send that out to him. Um, but it's got a saying on there, for God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten son, and whoever shall believeth in him shall not perish but have everlasting life. John 3:16.
316. I was gonna say.
Yeah. We'll send that out to T-Bird.
That might be the one piece that cracks T-Bird's table.
That's right.
I
Yeah, that's
know.
gonna put it over the top. One
That
You
day
one
know,
he's
last
gonna
round
put
to just
something on that table
crumble
and it's
it.
just gonna. He says it's good for another 300 pounds, but I don't know.
yeah. He must have
Another
some real. You know what he probably did? He probably took his brake that he used to use for Yankee Stacking's rig wheel, and he probably used that brake as a support to hold the middle of the table up.
Right?
And I don't know. He's got some support on there. I'll tell you that one.
Yeah.
T-Bird, did
Well,
you decide if you're
maybe
getting a laser
the
printer?
table will hold up, but the floor is gonna collapse.
That's a big possibility. That thing's got to be heavier than a freaking gun safe.
Yeah.
He's on a slab. T-Bird, did you
I don't
decide
think
if you're
so,
getting a
man.
laser printer or a 3D printer yet? He's doing all his research, trying to doing his reading and research.
I think
Mhm.
he's gonna get both. Come on, T-Bird's a baller, man. He's gonna do both.
He only got a permission slip for one, though.
Yeah, he doesn't need permission. Mrs. T-Bird is she's in charge, but she's T-Bird's the man.
A couple less Delmonico steaks, and he can get both.
There
Yeah.
you go.
75% sure he's going with the laser first. There you go.
Okay, there you go.
Hey, you can do your
That'll
own graphite molds. That'd be cool.
Yeah.
really.
Burn his
Woodsy,
own
Woodsy
mold.
joined us. Rob Numismatic joined us. Thank you for being in here.
Woodsy's
It
here.
has been over 2 hours, and I am still up from last night. So I think I am going to go to bed, and the rest of you guys can enjoy your weekend.
Well, thanks for having me on, guys. This has been fun. I got to share some of my collection of pours and some of the stuff that's been going on. Got to learn about some stacking habits and stuff, and uh, it looks like that somebody is really into gold backs, man.
Not me.
I
It
thought it
ain't
was
me.
just copper, but man, them gold backs, that's quite a stack.
They're all for sale, every single one of them.
That's an
Check out
investment.
my Whatnot channel.
That's all
Right on.
flippable product.
Yeah, that's inventory. That's inventory.
Thank you for being on. I've been wanting to get you on the live stream for a while because your rings and everything are just amazing. The work that you do, and I actually think it was like one of the sobriety coins and stuff that was like real inspiring. That's really cool that you do that type of stuff too.
Yeah. Well, thank you.
It's good for everybody, good for the community and everybody involved. B Taylor, thanks for being here, start to finish as always. Zoltan, greatly appreciate you being here. T Bird, Bird is the word as always. Capital Currency, great support as always. Rob Numismatic, I hope the little one is doing well. Woodsy, thanks for coming in. Cartier Silver, you're here for throughout the show as well. After catching LBS's show. LBS, thanks for lurking in the background and listening in. Zoltan, always great to see you. B Taylor, Rob Numismatic, Space Miner, good to see you. Thanks for being in here bright and early on a Saturday morning with everybody. And Dub C, if you're still here, greatly appreciate you. And we will talk to Dub C on Monday evening. If you guys have any questions, comments, or otherwise, jot them down and we can fire them at Dub C on Monday. Rakamas, if you're still here, greatly appreciate it. I scrolled up quite a bit. I hope I got everybody that's in here. If I did not, I still appreciate you being in here.
Hell yeah! Did you get Silver Sleuth? Because he's still in here. And
Oh,
of
Silver
course,
Sleuth.
B Taylor.
I did get B Taylor. I did forget Silver Sleuth though. Mahalo as always. Aloha.
Zoltan. Got Zoltan. Yep.
Blue collar, holler
Stagger.
out the
I'm just
chat there,
going through
Grizzly
this
Bear.
stuff. Say again.
I said holler out the chat there,
Yeah,
Grizzly
I'm
Bear.
trying.
Say your goodbyes.
Yeah, I can't really do it because I working off my phone. I got to tap on each one just to find out who it is. So it
All
ain't
right, all right.
practical for me. I'm just gonna give you all a group thank you. Thank you very much. Don't forget to be in Monday night. Dub C, get your questions ready. Thank you, 3D. We really appreciate you coming in.
Thank you, everybody. Enjoy your weekend, and we will talk at you on Monday night, 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, 9 p.m. Eastern Time.
Absolutely.
A new time that hopefully works better for everybody.
Yeah, a little bit earlier. Thanks again, 3D. Thanks everybody, and Average Joe's out.
Thank you, 3D. Everybody enjoy
Yeah,
your
you're
weekend.
welcome. Yeah. Thanks for having me on. Remember, everybody, do what you can do to help somebody out. Share a smile, and that's what makes the world go around.
Very nice. Thank you, guys. Enjoy your weekend.
Take care, everybody. Thanks for coming in.
Peace.
Peace out.